Hey guys, welcome to another video. And after long thinking, I thought that in this video, I'm gonna show you how I learn. And by that I mean the processing of learning. How I learn, the processing of it. And I want to learn about this structure. This is the structure I want to learn about it. So I want to learn about its structure as many as I can, right? So as you guys see it already, I prepared something in here and I will open up in any second. On there you see my processing. If I want to learn about something, this is how I process. And I want to learn about this structure, what you see right here. That's the structure I want to learn about. And I show you the processing of learning about its structure, right? So let me open it up. Ta-da! So that structure, what you see over here, is over here. So that's the structure I want to learn about, right? First of all, I don't give it a name because I don't know about it. So I want to learn about that structure. So the first thing what I do is I look, where do I see that structure? And by that I mean in what fields or in what dimension, in what field or what dimension this structure is being recognized and operates, right? So I figured out that this structure is recognized in the field of the ancient Mayan civilization, and that structure represented the number 5. The number 5 in the ancient Mayan civilization. So that's one field, one dimension. I recognize that that structure is in this dimension, in this era. And then I study further. I look, where else do I see that structure? Then I recognize that I see the structure in geometry. And in geometry, that structure represents a line that connects two locations or 2 points or 2 dots. So it's a line that connects things together, dots, points, or location. Then I look, where do I recognize its structure too? And then I realize that I see it also in our alphabetic, in a Western alphabet in the language, and it represents the letter I. In mathematics, in the field of mathematics, in the dimension of mathematics, because these are all dimensions and fields, right? And I'm trying to find similarities and where the structure is recognized in these different fields. So in mathematics, it represents in the numbers, it represents the number 1. In psychology, it represents the self, the center, the beginning. In physics, it represents one dimension. So now what I do is I look in because I don't know what is structure. I know it's a structure, it's a form, it's a structure, but I don't give it a name. So what I do first, I look in all on purpose in different fields. Where do I recognize this form, this structure in those different fields? So I know that this structure is recognized in the ancient Mayan civilization back in the days as the number 5. If I look in a geometry field era, it represents a line that connects 2 dots or 2 locations or 2 points. In the alphabetic language, in the Western world, it represents the letter I. In mathematics, it represents the number 1. In psychology, it represents the self, the center, the beginning. In physics, it represents 1 dimension. It's a 1 dimension, first dimension, 1 dimension. So know I now that this structure has many names and different meanings. So then I go further into it, and then I know now that this structure is at least recognized here in our example right now in 6 different kinds of fields, in 6 different dimensions, in 6 different fields. I recognize that structure. And then I want to know what is the role of this structure in these fields, right? What does it represent? And we know in the ancient Maya civilization, it's the number 5. In geometry, it binds, it connects. In alphabet, right here, it's a letter called I. In mathematics, it is a number, and it calls number 1. In psychology, it's the self, it's the center, it's the beginning. And in physics, it represents, the structure represents a 1 dimension or first dimension. So I know now that this structure has many names, and this structure has many functions in these fields, in these different fields, in these different eras, in these different dimensions, in these different concepts. So if someone asks now, if someone comes along and says, what do you mean by the I? Well, I'm a number. I bind, I connect. I'm a letter. I'm a center. I'm self. I'm the beginning. I'm a number. I'm the self. I'm a center. I'm a beginning. I'm beginning. And I'm 1 dimension. Is that what you mean by that structure? So that structure here does a lot. It connects. It binds. It's a number. It's a letter. It's the self. It's the center. It's the beginning. And it's 1 dimension. So I play a role in all these different fields. And I have different names and different meanings and different roles in these fields. So what I showed you here right now is that you really, that I showed you my process of learning, the processing itself about that structure. So I know now that I bind, I connect, I'm a number, I'm a letter, I'm the self, I'm the center, I'm the beginning, and I'm one dimension. That's what I am. And I operate in all dimensions and in different fields, what you see right here. I'm in the ancient Mayan civilization, I'm in geometry, I'm in the alphabet, I'm in mathematics, I'm in psychology, I'm in physics. That's what that structure means. And that's what I represent. Thank you for watching.